Today, the rescore we'll be breaking down is from a little clip from Ratatouille, a really great Disney film. I'm not a huge Disney fan, but that's a good one. In this scene, it's a chase scene. Remy the rat discovers that the head chef, I can't remember what his name was, has been concealing a will. The restaurant, turns out it belongs to, what was that guy's name? The main character with the red hair? I can't remember. It doesn't matter. So Remy snatches up the will, takes off, chase scene ensues. That's really the whole clip. Normally during these videos, I'll play the clip with no music, no sound, and I'll just kind of narrate it and give you my impressions of what's going on and what it needs. Then I'll play the clip again, but with my original music. I say nothing. I just let you, take it all in and see what I've done. And then we go back a third time, and we'll go play by play, and I'll explain why I did what I did and why it's effective, why it helps tell the story, why this works. Okay, so I am going to skip the first step. You've seen Ratatouille. I don't really need to narrate this for you. We'll just go to step 2, and I'll play the clip with my music, and we'll start there. So let me switch over to the movie, and there we go. No, that's not it. Come on, where are we? There we go. Okay, so just a little bit of setup. Here's Remy. There's the will. He's just discovered it. Oh, that's what was his name? Gusto, right? So the door opens. The head chef walks in and catches him. Right, you see his eyes bulge open there, and Remy snatches up the will, and the chase scene begins. Okay, so that's all the narration I'm going to do. Now I'm going to play this for you. Okay, so that is my rescore. So now let's do a play-by-play. I'm going to switch you over to the workspace here. Okay. Open this up a little bit. Okay. So this first section, I'm going to start and stop and start and stop. There's a lot going on. There's a lot I need to explain. So I'm going to scrub through this again. So there is not a whole lot of time. There's a few seconds here between when he opens the door and then the chase scene arrives. Okay. I made the musical choice to start in high gear. Instead of ramping up to high gear, I just go full throttle. And I do that with some really aggressive staccato hits. Backs up. I'm going to play these for you real quick. And you'll notice those staccato hits are timed to what's going on in the film. So the first one hits when his eyes, jet open, and then the second one hits when Remy jerks around and stops. He's getting, ready to run, and the last one hits when the scene cuts. Boom, right there. And then the chase scene. When it hits this scene, the chase scene has really begun. So this is kind of the preamble, like letting the audience know that something big is about to happen. So playing it again after the big staccato, but you'll hear me introduce Remy's theme. They're rhythmically, it's energetic, it's moving along, but melodically, it's playful. I want to characterize Remy as the good guy and the head chef as the bad guy. It's really that simple. Let me introduce this theme for you. So that contrast right there, Remy's theme and the head chef's theme are going to be glued together the whole time. We're going, the good guy, the bad guy, the good guy, the bad guy. There's a few reasons for this theme, and you'll hear it a few times. They'll be well placed, and the one of the benefits from leaving the busy, bombastic brass and the the heavy rhythm is to give the audience a little break. So action music is very busy, it's very tense, and being able to take a little break, a little vacation for a moment, and revisit something familiar gives the audience the ability to enjoy this a little more. So if you have this cranked up to 11 the whole time and it's high energy and you're beating them over the head with it, it kind of gets exhausting and it starts losing its power. I mean, if you have it turned all the way up and it's high energy, there's nowhere to go. So I have to take these opportunities to take it down a little bit so I can take it back up and really take advantage. I'm really trying to get the mileage out of the busy chase scene music. So, and they also have, they're well placed for emotional reasons as well, and I explain that. Okay, so I've been yammering too long. I'm going to start this over and play it all the way through to the next point I'm going to discuss. Okay, so right there was a perfect opportunity. Okay, so we've introduced that something big is going to happen. We've told the audience musically, this is about to go down. We've introduced Remy's theme, and we contrasted it with the head chef's theme. Something playful and innocent and fun to something kind of nasty and kind of evil. And then the music the energy kind of comes to a stop when he hits him with the moped. There's one last staccato. And you'll notice in this moment, while this is nothing small, the chase isn't over. He's not racing, right? This is a slowed down moment. This is an opportunity for me to give the audience a little break, albeit very short. It is an opportunity to introduce a low spot in the energy, so I can take it back up, and that high spot seems a bit more energetic. So I'm going to start here. You hear it? So you hear all the busy staccatos and the rhythms stop just for a moment. There's still music going, and it's still got some energy, but it take it down a notch, and then we take it right back up, right here. So stopping. what is the purpose of this idea here? This is a collection of ideas, so that's how you're going to hear me refer to it. What does this idea serve? All right, well, to put it very simply, he's gotten back on the moped and he's back to chasing, right? He's going fast, so the music should be high energy. He's in pursuit, right? It's busy, and this part, after the busy brass, he pulls up to that intersection, and he's no longer speeding along, so the music kind of reflects that. However, you see his face here. You see that grimace, right? Look at that, right? So I tack on to the end of that busy brass idea this ominous little few lines of brass, right? Let me just play it for you. Bum, 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 bum. So that's the reason why that's there. Now, this idea will repeat a couple of times. And there's a reason for that. Again, action music is very busy, and if there's just a lot of busy notes, the audience can kind of get lost. If there's all these ideas that aren't related to one another, it just seems like noise. If you have some familiar ideas that you kind of come back to, the audience is like, oh, subconsciously, oh, I know this. Okay, I know this. It sounds more cohesive. It sounds like a piece of music, a song, opposed to just, craziness. So, two things are accomplished here by this little idea right here. Again, the rhythm, the busy dun 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 dun, the rhythm dies because he's not moving. It gives the audience the impression that this is an evil man, right? And it's starting to introduce another little break. The little lulls, taking the energy down, is important, and I take advantage of it each time, because again, it will get exhausting for the audience if you're just chugging along. All right, so notice right here as he's scanning. As he's scanning, the music isn't driving. It isn't pulsing away, right? But he sees the mouse. He's got his sights on him, and I introduce another ramp up. And if you'll notice, it's pretty well timed. The very last bump is when he takes off. Bump, right? We're reintroducing the chase scene music. So why this section of music is the same reason as before. He's in pursuit. He's going fast, so the music should reflect that. This is a new idea. It's some of the same rhythmic ideas, but a new concept. Why? Because you got to keep it interesting. If repetition is good, you want to repeat your ideas, but there's a balance. If you over repeat your ideas, they get tired. If you never repeat your ideas, it doesn't feel like a cohesive song. It just becomes noise. So we're trying to strike that balance. So here's a new idea. It's right here. So right here, we're hearing that same idea we heard before when he first gets on the moped and takes off. Except I didn't copy and paste it. It's not identical. If you're going to repeat your ideas, keep them interesting. It's a good rule. So the brass was really driving the last time we heard this. This time it's the woodwinds, and that same idea that's on the end. Where he came to a stop and he had that evil grimace on his face, and I musically tell you this is an evil man. It plays again, but the scene is a little different. He is moving in on Remy. He might actually catch him, and instead of carbon copying those notes exactly the same, I go up instead of down and raise the tension, and that's why that works. So I'm gonna play I'm going to play this idea again and show you what I'm talking about. So, brass driven, Evil Man, and then we do it again, but it's woodwind driven to keep it interesting. Keep it interesting. No, that's not it. Oh, wait. Yeah, that was it. I'm sorry. Now, the brass is there, but it's the woodwinds leading it. All right, and then here's that line again, except it changes. And we go back to Remy's theme. Why? Well, he just had a close call, and this is a perfect opportunity to take a little vacation from all this tension just for a brief moment. Like, let the audience have just a little bit of relief emotionally. Like, he's getting away, you know. You want to give the audience a little bit of hope, and that's what this playful little theme does. It's well placed. It keeps the energy high. But something happens. I was torn with musically acknowledging this. Sometimes you just got to let what's happening on screen happen on screen. If you'll notice, let me go back. Okay. After the theme plays, right? He's got both of those pieces of paper in his mouth, and then the wind blows, and he loses it, right? And here we hear the head chef's nasty little contrast theme again as he gets back in the chase. Remy's chasing this piece of paper blowing by the wind. So for the first time, he's not really in control of the will, and there's an actual opportunity for the head chef to get his hands on it. All right, he look how close he comes. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. I was torn with musically acknowledging him losing the paper at that instant, but I decided to go against it and just go for the ambience. You'll notice what I do in this section is different from everything else. So everything else has been, driving rhythm, dun, 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 lots of 16th notes, just driving away. Here I dump all that and I go for longer sustained notes, but they're unsettling, right? They're not happy notes, right? They're I guess unsettling is the right word. They're long and sustained. There's a little bit of rhythm underneath, keeping it alive. But why would I do this? Why does this work? Because we're raising the tension in a different way. We've already hit the audience over the head with a lot of a bombastic brass and busy notes. Well, I've already done that. So it's time to do something different because there's no other place to go. And you'll notice right here it adds a certain tension without all. Right? It adds a certain tension without all the busy rhythm. So, one more time, we're keeping it interesting. We've got these brass notes that are kind of like they're rising and rising with these long, sustained, unsettling notes. And right here, we drop everything, and there's just high tremolo notes. Tremolo is like a little vibrating, nervous sound. And it just tells the audience that there's tension there. But it's very quiet, and it's just a single sustained note, and yet somehow it's very effective. It makes it tense. I've taken everything away, but just this sustained. Right? You hear that high note, and the bassoon is in there. No, it's not the bassoon. It's the oboe. It's keeping the rhythm alive, but it's really subdued. It's buried underneath. And then I introduce some brass clusters swelling up, raising the tension. then, right when he lands, this is really well timed, if I do say so myself. We're raising the tension, by the way, because again, the head chef might actually get his hands on this. You know, if this is your first time watching the movie, you don't know what's going to happen, and I'm trying to suggest to the audience that the danger is very real. And as soon as he hits that, his theme plays again. This again is well placed. It's relief, and it feels like celebration, like victory. He's gotten away. It's the same exact notes, the same thing again, but the context has changed, and again, it's just very, very effective. But then we hear the head chef's theme again. Always the good guy, then the bad guy. That's what I've went with. This time we hear a low brass note bending downwards as he scowls. For me, this gives the impression that so Remy thinks he's gotten away. He's like, ha ha ha, I'm on the boat now. But this man is undeterred. He is determined, and you can see it in his face. Let me see if I can scrub this. Right, well, no, I went past it. Let me do it down here. Come on. What am I doing wrong? Bear with me, guys. Oh, I didn't see this. Okay, come on. Okay, so Remy thinks he's gotten away, right? And the music is playing. It's his theme. It's a celebration. And you see this scowl here. Look at that right there, right? He is not deterred. He is even more determined and angry and just an evil guy. And you'll hear this downward bend here. It's a very effective message to the audience there. So during this section, we've come back to heavy rhythm and lots of movement. But this is a new idea. You haven't heard this one before. And the reason for that is very simple. Keep it interesting. Keep it interesting. You're trying to strike that balance between familiar and interesting. So around this point, I introduce percussion. It's just a low timpani hitting on the one. Boom, boom, boom. And the reason for that is because it's a very effective, subtle way to raise the stakes without doing a whole lot extra. I've already done, loud and high notes that are all over the place. This is just a pulsing, driving, low thud. It's something new. It adds a certain seriousness to it. So again, in this section, I'm driving with a thud, with a low timpani hitting on the one. And the music, I change it to actually start being very repetitive. I haven't done that at all through any of this piece, and now doing it here, I think the notes would do. Let me just play it real quick, so I don't. Yeah. The strings are doing tremolo, which is a very, very shaky. It adds a lot of tension. And it's going playing do 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 over and over. By leaning into like blatant repetition over and over and over in this brief context, it raises the tension, the danger, the very real sense that he might catch Remy in a very effective way. If you did this anywhere else, it's really the film that makes it work. If you did this anywhere else, it would not be effective. But if you can see him, the head chef, you see that scowl in his face. He's actually closer than he's ever been, right? And he might actually catch him, and I want the audience to think that. As Remy gets close to the edge, you'll hear me introduce some staccato brass, and all it does is it just starts to get louder and higher. It raises its register higher and higher and higher. It's just really the same notes. I'm sticking on the same chord, but it gets louder and higher and higher. Just pitch and dynamics really help raise the tension. Okay, so one more time. So why does that work? Because it creates a sense of danger, urgency, and uncertainty. And then I drop everything for a brief moment, and we're just back to high strings. Right there. It's just a brief moment, but it is also, again, very effective at creating a different type of uncertainty. And then, I keep cutting it off for the big moment. We hear this soaring brass when the wind kind of fills the paper, and he has these makeshift wings, and it's this heroic moment almost. So something interesting about that is actually the first few notes of Remy's theme that we've been hearing the whole time, played with the flute. The do 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 do. I've taken it and rearranged it and slowed it down, and it's just the first couple of notes. Do 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 do. There it is. Yeah, change the rhythm a little bit. And this gives it gives a warm, fuzzy feeling, like he got away, he's gonna make it. And then I switch back to the chasing music because the head chef is not done. He's still pursuing him. I've done this heroic moment, and I can't stay there. I have to go back because the movie requires it. Because look at that, he's still chasing him, but. So it forced my hand to go back to the chase music, but it actually worked out really well because well, let me just show you. Then we go back to Remy's theme. And that contrast, going back to the chase music, makes hearing this a little bit more effective, I think, by the contrast. But he's gotten away. Good for Remy. So what's interesting about the last time you hear this theme, if you're familiar with solfege, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, right? Do is the home note. It's the root note, they call it. Do feels complete. It feels like home. It feels like the melody or the song is over when you hit do. It's very, very effective. The entire time we heard Remy's theme, do 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 do, it never hits do. Never. It comes to the note right before it. So it never feels quite complete until this moment. I've been holding out on the audience this entire time. So this one note can make the scene feel like it's come to a conclusion. And now we're going on to the next scene. Okay, guys, that is my rescore. I hope you enjoyed it. There is a lot going on here. It's very busy. There's a lot of ideas, and I'll admit to you, writing this style of music, chase scene or action music, is still quite a challenge for me. I'm not great at it yet, but I'm working on it. And I really do enjoy the opportunity to kind of grow. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that my choices made sense to you. If you want me to break down some of the music theory for you, let me know in the comments. If there's a particular section, like I want to know how to do that, let me know, and I will make a special video just for you, and I will break it down and teach you how to do that so you can recreate it and then put that composing tool in your tool bag. Okay, guys, thanks again for checking out my rescore breakdown. We'll see you next time.